Hello, friends. How are you? How's your Friday? How's things? It is raining here today. Nice a day, but raining, which means there might not be softball tonight. We had a question that posted by our friend California Chris that I thought I would like to answer today because we're coming up on, well, we're already in, honestly, riding season, motorcycle riding. For those of you that don't know, I've ridden a motorcycle. Well, I've ridden a two-wheeled vehicle for my entire adult life. I think so. I think that's true. And even some when I was younger, I had this scooter that my dad made, a two-wheeled, like lawnmower engine moped type thing. I bought, and so California Chris says, has your riding style changed over the years? Do you still get the joy out of it that you used to? So two questions in one, asked by California Chris. When I was in the military in Hawaii, I bought a moped and I rode that, and then I had a Suzuki 250, like an early '80s Suzuki 250. When I was there, I've had a Harley Electric Glide. I've had Hondas. Now I have a Suzuki Volusia 800 that I've had now for probably 10-ish years. Actually, no. Significant longer than that, actually. Maybe like almost 15 years or something. I've had it for a long time. And so I've ridden a two-wheeled vehicle my entire adult life. And that comes with a certain amount of responsibility. Because, ultimately it's a choice to ride a two-wheeled vehicle because they are dangerous. They are significantly more dangerous than riding in a four-door, or what motorcyclists would call a cage. For a large portion of my life, I was not a weekend warrior. I was a person that rode 10,000+ miles a year, which in a state like mine that only has like a very short riding season, that's a lot of miles. My bike served as my daily driver for many, like a decade. So I've ridden a lot. And has my riding style changed? Yeah, it absolutely has. As a 20-something kid, I rode definitely more dangerously than I ride today. I've never been the guy who would like go flat out on a 25 mile an hour, road, but I definitely rode aggressively for some number of years, and by that I just mean I was speeding, I was maybe passing on the right, weaving around traffic, which is dangerous. And in my area with deer populations, it's dangerous to speed anywhere. It's actually dangerous to go the speed limit sometimes. So my riding style definitely changed over the years to a more laid back, I'm not out here trying to tear up the streets. I'm out here just enjoying my time. So I might even be going slow and like under the speed limit nowadays, just chilling. But honestly, since 2000 or 2020, when I started full-time work from home, I've barely ridden at all. I went from riding 10 to 12,000 miles a year to like 100 miles a year, maybe. Like I basically get the bike out a couple of times a year to go on a date night. We'll take it to a restaurant, or we'll maybe just ride around a loop or something that's 50 miles or something, just to take the bike out and do something together or whatever. I don't really have room for it as a daily driver because the only reason I would go anywhere these days is to go get groceries or to take the dog to the vet or to take my kid to a doctor's appointment. Can't really do those things on the bike. I mean, I guess the doctor appointment I could. So I don't have an opportunity to just take it places, which is how I've done the majority of my riding. I've never really been a ride for riding's sake. Part of that stems from the fact that I used to ride so much for work, I didn't need to go riding more just for the hell of it. And the other part came from being poor and just, gas being expensive. And I can't just afford to go ride just for the hell of it because tires cost money and gas and maintenance and that kind of stuff. These days, I could absolutely afford riding for pleasure. But there's just, at some point, other parts of my life replaced the riding for me. Other parts of my life, currently it's music or workshop stuff or kid stuff, softball, spending time with my wife, playing board games. That stuff all just started to fill those gaps when I maybe used to do a little bit of recreational riding. So I would say that these days I ride almost exclusively recreationally. Even though I'm only riding 100 or maybe 200 miles a year, that's all recreational riding. Whereas before, it was almost always just transportation. I was riding for transportation. It was my main vehicle. It was the thing that I came to the most. And I haven't had it out this year. And I think last year I maybe only put 10 miles on it. I think we took it out a couple of times last year to go to the Mexican restaurant, which is 3 miles up the road. In some regards, I would say, yeah, my riding, what was the question again? Riding style? Yeah, has my riding style changed? Yeah, I just don't. That's my new riding style. He also mentioned in that comment that he used to ride a Gixxer, GSXR. Suzuki is a traditional, that's like probably the most popular street bike. And a street bike is like when the guys go flying past you, they're all hunched over. I've never enjoyed riding that type of bike because I'm 6'4" and I don't fit on them very well. If I try to lean forward, the windshield's hitting me. The tank relief, like when you look at a motorcycle, those types of motorcycles where you're almost riding in a laying down position, the tank reliefs, my knees are up over the top of the tank, so those tank reliefs just kind of hurt. They're pushing into the side of my legs. So I've never enjoyed riding those types of street bikes. I am aware that there are things like pedal extensions and you can make adjustments to the bike to fit your body, but I've never enjoyed that riding style. No. Every bike that I've had that's a serious let's go ride bike has been more of a cruiser style bike, meaning what you would think of as a chopper, but I don't have stupid, high handlebars. I'm just kind of sitting upright and riding. And I have absolutely no problem with that these days. Even with my back, it doesn't bother me. It's my preferred riding style, or my preferred way to sit on the bike. And Chris was talking about, if he wants to get back into riding at some point, he doesn't think it's going to be on one of those street bikes, thinking maybe cruiser style. And I would say go for it. My bike has a windshield, it has saddlebags, it has everything that I thought was like an old man bike when I was younger. And I got it, I was probably around 30 when I got it, and I loved all of those things. I love my windshield. I love my saddlebags. I love my fairings. I don't have big fairings. I just have these deflectors that push the wind around me. I love the comfort that comes from not holding yourself upright. If you've ever been on a motorcycle without a windshield at highway speeds, the wind punching you in the chest, trying to push you back, it wears you out to sit up against that wind, to keep your head forward. Having a windshield is like the best thing ever. And yeah, I would say if you're going to get into riding, definitely go for a cruiser with a windshield, and you'll just find yourself laid back, just into loving life. So I hope that answers your question, Chris. Do you have questions about anything? It could be about riding, but it could be about anything. I love answering questions, and I would like to do more future episodes where I answer your questions. So put them in the comments while you're down there. Give the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to get back to 25,000. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'll see you again on Monday. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We have been learning 30 lessons for finding strength in hard times. Number 16, it's better to be hurt by the truth than comforted by a lie. You must see things how they are instead of how you hoped, wished, or expected them to be. It's always better to be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie. I've lived by this rule for a long, long, long time. I tell the truth only, and sometimes that means just not saying anything. That is also a valid way to tell the truth.